Welcome back. We now want to translate our HTML file of our book into a readable, into an editable Mathematica notebook that we can work with it. So this is relatively straightforward, and I want to show how it works. So start a new notebook. This is our guideline. Check that we are linked to our library. That's fine. If not, for example, say empty with library is system dialog input of directory. Ask that, and then we can have, this is our library, this, or you can simply say, take this and say it should be, it's already a string, it should be this file name, and then our library is linked. We can then check for all the books available. This is the MTP selection, book selection. Selection menu. It's here. Now we have, for example, our Alberti. It's here. And we can ask for the MTP book selected, and then it's Alberti OP. If you don't have these functions, go to recent, it's this file. These are all the functions in version 4.0. Evaluate the initialization cells, and then you can leave it again, and then all these functions should work as I'm doing. So that's the selection of book and library. Now we want to go for a certain page. Say, for example, we want to have page number 13. In this example, go for page number 13. In our library, we have Alberti, we have HTML, and then we are looking for this file. It looks like this, so we can keep that. So our file name is Alberti OP 013, and it is in HTML in our book. So to create this file name, it's a little tricky. So we can ask for file names. This is a function. You can check it up. File names. Then we ask for all the file names in the current working directory. So here we can, this is what we want to have. Here, this looks for all the files in a certain directory with n levels deep, or this is in multiple directories, so we go for this. So we ask for the file names, and then we say, for example, we want to have all the file names. This star is always a joker. So, and we want to have all the file names with the extension HTML, for example. Whatever is there at the beginning with all the HTML, and then we want to say it's on our MTP library. MTP library, and then we string join at an infix notation with our MTP book selected. And let's look what's going on. That's not working. Let's look what this is. So this is users desktop library Alberti OP. So here we have to add maybe but this in principle should work. We simply say all. No, not yet. Then say HTML Then we have Alberti. Maybe we have to put this here. Maybe we can just work on this. Copy, paste, all. Oh, not working as well. File names. Here we are. So these are all the file names. That's fine. So, but now we want to have the page number 13, which is this. So it starts here with 13 and ends then with HTML. So which means we can say you want to have this, then string infix with toString of page, toString and string join of that. Now we get page number 13 and 113. And it simply works if we say this is the first one. So this is our file name. Okay. So the XML code is import of file name in form XML. And then we get this parsing error. And the problem is that this is a wrong format. Mathematica can't read HTML formats. That's very unfortunate. Okay, now I upgraded or translated HTML to XHTML as described in the last tutorial and as described in this file. So it's a simple procedure, which means I now, with the same command, I get the file without error. So as we see, this is our code. Oh, this is our page. This is page number 13. You can check it here. Yeah, page number 13. This is the page, and this is our code. You see it. Page, header, paragraph, paragraph, header, body, background. So as a head of the HTML, that's it. So let's, but it's not. Now we have XML, so I have reloaded it, and yeah, it's the same. Good. That's the same what we get with our XML object as discussed. And now we want to get, so we have a very simple parser now, as discussed in prior tutorials. So we simply say we want to have this H and we want to have P. So let's say cases. We have the XML code, XML code. So this is our world, and now we need this key, XML element. We say our paragraph starts with this, and we don't have attributes, and we want to have the body. It's one element, and we want to have this as an X. So, and go for this. And we say we want to have all of it. This is missing. Then we get the two paragraphs we had. 1, 2. Very simple. So, if we want to have multiple of them, then we need to use replace. So we say replace or let's say cases. What we want to have is we want to translate it to, this is MTP, F as a text. And we want to have that as a text cell, which means we have text data as format as text. And as you know, if we put that to a cell print of these, then we have these two paragraphs in our Mathematica node environment. So this is our cells. So with replace, we can, let's go here and say for H3, we can do the same with the citizen, but that should be, for example, a chapter. So then we get a chapter. So with cases, we only can have one access, and then we're collecting it. We can't have multiple. So in my knowledge, we can't have multiple keys. So therefore, the way how I'm doing it is I simply say replace, because there I can have multiple keys. So I can keep the sequence and the order of the world, and I replace certain elements with others. So then we say we can do this, and the H, we say this is P, and we want to have that as a text, and we want to have H, say H1 or H2 or H3 or H4 or H5 as a, say section, whatever. So if we do this, then we see we have all this XML, HTML stuff, but when the interesting starts here, the interesting thing starts, we have cell, and so on. So, and because this is everything we are interested in, all the rest we want to ignore, we simply can say, this is, we can say cases, this is our world now, and then we say we want to have all the cells, which is, we won't forget all the XML elements, we want to have all the cells, whatever they have, and we want to have all of them. And by that we get the different cells in the proper order. So you see it's cell, text, cell, subsection, text. Here we are. So this is these are our cells we are interested in. So now let's look for the next step. Now we create a notebook. Notebook is this, then we have this notebook, O2, and then we can say notebook write, notebook, this notebook, cells. And here we are. This is a page, this page in a notebook. Okay, this is fine. Now we add our page object. So which means we can have here, we say MTP f page of MTP book selected, book selected, and it was page 13. So this is a page, so in cells is this, and then these. So make this is a list, and we want to flatten that. So Now we have the page plus the elements. If we delete all this stuff, we don't need to create a notebook again, but these are the cells and this is not working. I think we can check it up. It checks the book and the page number. Why is it not working? Should work. Very simple error. This works. Problem is here, the semicolon, it's too fast. Semicolon says there's nothing. Therefore, there's nothing. Leave that, go here, select everything, go back. Notebook is created. Now go here, and now we have Alberti OP, page number 13, with this content. So, okay, next step. This is the function I prepared. So I prepared for this exactly the same thing, but is able to do images as well. So, which means I can do the same thing with simply this line, parse scan page, book 13, and we get the cells. If we now write the cells, we get the same thing. Okay. We have the page source here. This I introduced with the button. So this is interesting. We go here and then we see the same thing in readable stuff, the JPEG we scanned before. This is a kind of extra I introduced. Good. That's it. Having that, we now can work on the whole book, which means we have to look and link the library as we did. We have to look for whether this is we have the proper metadata. We have that. It's here, so we don't have to do it. It's good. So we don't need this right. So and then we have the notebook. We give that options. So let's check. So our style sheet. Create a notebook, create a style sheet. So let's make it. So we already had the notebook, now we give it a style sheet. Which means this is now style sheet, MTP style sheet 2. You can have another one if you like. Good. Now, this simply says we have to check whether all the files are proper. We already did that. Now, these are the file names. You just take care whether they are working. Yeah, these are all the file names. That's good. We had it already. Now, because of these file names, there might be files missing in numbers. So it will not work if we simply say 12 to 191. So therefore we take the file names and get the numbers out of. So I want to show you how it works to get the page numbers. File names of, for example, 12. This is file name number 12 and we want to have this number. How to get that? This is a string, so we can ask for what is it. It's a string, so we can have string cases. string cases, and then take this file name. So take the file names, 12. So, and then this is, we start with the key. So this is a world, this is a key. We want to have all of them. So this should, all is on. And so this of course is working because the world is the key. But we are interested in this number. So this is all variable. So I think we simply start here with the blank. Or we can, we start with a blank. So therefore we say, whatever it is, we go for x, and this should be, then we are reading digits, digital character. We want to have multiple of them, and then we go until HTML. So we have x, so this is our key, and then we want to have the x. So this means we're looking for a blank followed by a line of digits, of numbers, and ended with a .html. So, and then we okay. We need these crazy tildes. So, and here we are. Now he gets the digits in between HTML and the blank, which is here. And by that, this is our x. Good. That's our x. Now we want to read that not as a string, that's still a string. We want to read that as a number, and this is very simple. We simply say this is to expression of this, and then it's getting a 12, and we have multiple of them, so we say this is first of this, and here we are. Or say flatten. So this is our 12. If we do it with our file, with all the file names, he's doing the same with the whole list, and here we are with all our numbers. So if a file is deleted or not there, this number will not appear, and we are good and ready for opening them. These are our page numbers. Good. And for each of these numbers now we have to make the page scan. So this would be relatively simple. It's so we can just take this page, then we say the MTP book selected, and then we say this should be a pure function working on all the page numbers. So but then it takes time, and we don't know how to, so we can simply, I can show you how it works from 1 to 3. So then we have all the boxes, and let's look how it is. So if we flatten that, where are we? We can flatten that. We always have to flatten it. If these cells are in hierarchies, we get in disorder with the hierarchies here. So therefore we have always to flatten it. So and then notebook print. notebook write and notebook, and then this stuff here, and then we have it. Yeah. Page, content, can do the page, image source, we have the small penguin, and we have the page source, image source, we have it here. All this is working properly. Third page. Good. Now, to see the progress of this, I introduced this here. I said map index. This is just map, infix notation of map. This is the full form of map, but indexed. And by that I can count. So the counter is double cross 2. The element is double cross 1. So look it up, it's just the same thing, but with the counter. And the status is here, dynamic, so we can see how it works. Now we can see that working 1, 2, 3 from 191. If we put that to all or to the last one, or we can delete all this, would be the same. Then our code runs. And here we are, and we have a lot of cells, and now we can write this stuff. Notebook write the code, very simple. Is it empty? Yes, very simple. Notebook write the code. Here we are, we have all the book. We forgot the title, I think. So, but this will be the next step. We can, for example, say notebook. What is this? Notebook move, all notebook, selection move. And you see what happens here. So we get all selected. And then we can say front end selection close all groups. There's a kind of menu command. So because this all is selected, now we close all the pages. This is and then we can save the notebook. Notebook save, and this is MTP book selected, so book save. And this is the name, so this is a single string, just string join, string join, string join. If you check it, this is a proper directory, and then our notebook will be named Alberti on paintings.nb. This, now we have it here. Go to our library. Now we have this file here. This is our book. And we can open this. We go for the page source. We can go for our page number 119 or 9. Go here. Go for the page source. We can go for the image source. All this is working properly, and we can copy this and paste it here and use it as a link. Go here, and we are in Alberti. So this is what I wanted to show. Okay, let's summarize all this. I had this parse scan page. This is what we had. This is a book. That's a discussion we did. And this is a book create. Evaluate this function, book create. So if we want to start fresh with your book, take attention of your data, write it, the metadata. If you have all the HTML and everything, then we have book create, data name, or we can simply say, if you have it, then you can say oh no, simply, this is a little unfortunate, because if I don't have it, I can say book name is MTP book meta read of MTP book selected. So this is the book name or data. So this data, book name is data of name, and then we have Alberti AP, and then we say a book name. Save the whole story. So this is what we need to do here. We had everything done. So the only thing to do is look whether all this is proper, and then copy this and evaluate that. This is status to see how it works. Book name. Do we have it? Okay. And then it's starting. You see the progress, finished, and here we have a book with a title and all the things saved with all the pages directly from HTML, directly from our scan. Thanks a lot, and see you next time.